The average person can learn to muscle up in just 30 days with this one technique. But before I tell you what that technique is, we have to know what the strength requirements are for learning to muscle up. So in this video, I'm going to be explaining everything you need to know about the muscle up. So the muscle up consists of two movements, pulling and pushing. If you break it apart, this would be the pull up and the straight bar dip. But most people usually find the pushing part much easier compared to actually getting over the bar. So here's what you need to do. Make sure that you improve your pull up strength, because when I say this is going to be the hardest part of the actual muscle up, which boils down to being able to get the strength to actually pull yourself up over the bar. That said, make sure that you're able to do anywhere between 10 to 15 pull-ups. This is going to be giving you a decent foundation to help advance your strength for learning the muscle up. But that's not all, because the pull-up does actually correlate to the actual pulling movement of the muscle up. So if we take a closer look, whenever you're doing a muscle up, you're going to be pulling with a more hollow body, meaning your back's going to be slightly rounded. So if all you're doing is a chin to bar or chest to bar pull-up, then you're ultimately going to be taking a longer route for building that necessary strength and also just overall understanding of getting the muscle up. So here's what you should do instead. That is by learning the high explosive pull-up. I can guarantee you, if you can do just 5 high explosive pull-ups, you can easily do the muscle up, because once you get to a point of being able to pull your waist to stomach area to the bar, your torso is pretty much already over the bar, and that's 70% of the work if we're being honest. Okay, don't take me on that exact percentage, but you can't lie, we are pretty much doing the majority of the work when it comes to doing the muscle up. Now Cobra, how in the world are we supposed to go from chest to bar to stomach to bar pull-ups? I know, there's a huge strength gap between the two, but there is a way to work around it, so listen closely. First, you want to be able to get 10 to 15 chin or chest to bar pull-ups. Secondly, you want to be able to do about 8 to 10 explosive pull-ups with chest to bar. This is actually where we learn how to activate that fast twitch muscle fibers, which is necessary for learning muscle up, because you do need that explosive power and overall strength to be able to get yourself over the bar as quickly as possible. Otherwise, good luck doing a slow tempo muscle up, because even for someone like me, that's pretty difficult, and I would categorize that as like advanced or elite strength right there. So yeah, you're better off learning the explosive chest to bar pull-ups, because that is going to eventually just correlate over to learning the muscle up. Third is going to be shooting for that waist or stomach to bar pull-up. And to kind of bridge the gap between step 2 and 3, you can utilize the resistance bands. Now I recommend using thin to medium band assistance, so you can kind of get a feel of how to pull yourself higher and higher without the added intensity. Now that we mentioned the strength requirements, let's dive a little bit deeper to the actual technique to accomplish all of this, which leads on to our grip. In order to pull up to the bar explosively, whether that's chin to the bar, chest to the bar, even stomach to waist to the bar, it's important that you actually initiate the pull-up motion with a semi-false grip. Now this is going to be in between a standard bar grip, where you're having your fingers gripping the bar, and then the false grip, where you're kind of having more of your palms on the bar. So your fingers are past the bar and you're essentially leaving a lot of the pressure on your palms. Now, if we break it up even further and look at the standard grip pull-up versus the false grip pull-up, the differences in our body position is night and day. Like, there's 2 different body positioning right there, so listen closely. One is going to be in a more retracted scapular state, and the other is going to be in a more protracted or rounded scapular state. Now remember what I said about the muscle up body positioning. We're pulling with a more rounded, or I can say hollow body, which is exactly what the false grip does. But the only thing that I notice it lacks is the explosive requirement needed that the standard grip provides. So this right here is game changer and will allow you to actually pull yourself explosively when you're using the semi-false grip. So make sure you focus on a semi-false grip pull-up to essentially help you get more high over the bar, because this is going to make it a lot more easier to essentially get your torso above the bar, and eventually, once you perfect this technique, over the bar. Other than that though, some generic technique cues like using your momentum by swinging to transition over the bar is helpful. But if I'm being honest, even if you can do all of that, if you're not having that semi-false grip, it's going to be one grind of a muscle up, like no cap. Or you're going to be doing that chicken wing type muscle up, which we definitely don't want to have. Now, another tip I actually recommend to do is to implement band assisted muscle ups to overall get more practice and volume with this semi-false grip. Because with the bands, is going to essentially just decrease the intensity and give you a better understanding to actually utilize all these different variables, like using a semi-false grip, pulling with a hollow body, pulling up explosively as possible, all of that. If you use bands, it's going to essentially just make it a little bit easier to perform the actual movement. But hey, what do I know? If you want to see more content like this, be sure to follow me, man. I'm the Tough Fitness Scout here. No cap.
Cobra Train, he's up next. Make sure y'all subscribe to him. He's number one out here.
He's the toughest fitness guy out here.